here's the thing, Bishop, when it comes to what we saw last night with Roman. And I was actually having this conversation with Paul, our producer, before the show. Listen, I love the energy. I love like seeing Roman on my TV. He's a star. I missed Roman while he was gone. But this is the issue I had. First and foremost, he talked about the relationship he had with Paul Heyman, and he said, and then you threw it all away for your best friend. Like, yeah, that's what you do with your best. Like, you're always gonna have your best friend's back, but that's not even the story. What Roman didn't bring up was Seth. I mean, Paul Heyman did not only stab Roman in the back; he stabbed his best friend in the back. Like, how are you not mentioning Seth in that promo last night? It's not about Punk. It's not about Heyman's best. It's about Seth Rollins. Like, and then when it came to the bloodline and Roman was like, it wasn't you that put this together. It wasn't you why it succeeded. It was because of the Usos. It was because of so. Like, wait a second. Roman was a narcissist that only cared about himself. He kept the Usos and Solo and that whole family down. He didn't bring that. He kept them down. Like, Heyman was the one that kind of rallied the troops and everything. I appreciate having Roman. I appreciate the energy. But everything that Roman was saying was completely not true in that promo last night. It was weird.
Yeah, I mean, I get where your head's at on it. And, I enjoy the promo because Roman has become such a mega star, and he has elevated his promo game so much from, the ones we watched where like Cena destroyed him. And,
Yes.
unfortunately it just was not fun for him. But last night it felt like Roman, to me, was having fun. And that's why I enjoyed the promo. Like, he was having fun. He was talking a little shit. He looks cool. His delivery's cool. The fans were in and having fun with it. I hear your points on like, why not mention Seth Rollins? And this is where I'm at on that. Like, I don't think it was his fault or his idea not to mention Seth. I think they're going, okay, how do we book a SummerSlam match in 1 week? So if we're talking about Seth Rollins, who's not going to be there, like, it takes away from us trying to create a match, because the rumor is we're going to get, Roman and Jay versus Braun and Bronson at SummerSlam, which we're, like, what are we, 7 days away or 10 days away? On Saturday, it'll be 7 days. So now you got to build a match basically in a week and a half for SummerSlam, one of your biggest pay-per-views of the entire year, PLE of the entire year. So I think it's like, all right, since we're not doing a 3-month build like we're supposed to or should do, like, how do we do this in 2 weeks? So if we talk about Seth, who's not going to be there in injury, we're wasting time getting to creating this feud. I did like how he kind of called Heyman out on not being the guy who created it all. I would prefer if he kind of also just threw Heyman under the bus a little more, saying things like, you just hook your wagon to the next big thing so that you stay relevant, that kind of thing. Because if you look at it, he does. Like, we want to say Heyman's the greatest of all time, but Heyman's had flops in there too, like with getting some guys over. So if, my opinion, if you want to really go after Heyman in the promo, talk about things like that. You're the greatest of all time. Why didn't this work? Why didn't this work? No, it's the guys that make this work. You're just an added plus to it. So like I said, I just enjoyed the promo because of the like casual nature of it, in a sense, and then just kicking people's asses. Like, I enjoyed that. There are definitely things I would have changed, and I'm not crazy on the Seth Rollins group, so I have issues with watching that anyway. I love Braun. I mean, like I said, I think he is going to be a massive star, and getting to go, at Roman on the microphone is a huge thing for him. So I enjoyed it, but I guess I get where you're at. You can't just act like the past never happened.
Yeah, and listen, Bishop, I'm not being really hard on it. We're talking about it because we're reacting to what just happened last night. I understand the situation. Seth Rollins just went down, a little over a week ago. Seth Rollins is one of your biggest stars. He holds the Money in the Bank briefcase. He was the leader of this group with Braun and with Bronson Reed. that was catastrophic for them, especially this close to an event like SummerSlam.
If
And
it's
I know
real.
they're, yeah, and like I know, you know, they have to react to that and they have to change gears and they have to pivot. It's difficult to do. So I'm not being really, really hard on the situation, but like you, I was never really big on this faction to begin with. This is the problem with having Bronson and Braun Breaker so far in the background to Seth Rollins. Now Seth Rollins is out, and it's going to be very, very difficult in this short of a time to get you to really buy in to Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker said, "Yeah, I love Heyman. Heyman would never do this to me." Slow down, kid. Like,
Yeah.
you've been with Paul Heyman for 2.5 months. Like, but this is the problem you have when because they were so far in the background for the last 2.5 months.
Yeah, and that's the number one thing I hated about the group because again, obviously I'm partial to Braun because we were tag partners, he's a buddy and all that. But they were J&J security essentially to Seth Rollins. Like they were never made as equals or even like close to equals with Seth. So then him leaving, now Heyman, like I feel like Heyman's a duck on water where he's trying to look calm, but under the water, his feet are flailing. And it's weird too, looking at the group. And last night was the first time I watched Raw in probably like 2 weeks, and like seeing Bronson holding the Money in the Bank briefcase. Like, why is he holding it? Like, it's not his. I know they want to keep it relevant, but it's just weird. If you're a new viewer tuning in, I mean, that's the goal of WWE every week is to bring in new viewers. You're a new viewer tuning in, you're going, well, why is that guy with the briefcase? Like, I don't understand. And I think the crowd still likes Braun because even when Heyman does the introductions and they say, Braun Breaker, the crowd starts barking and getting with it. And you can tell he's substantially more over in a sense than Bronson is. So it's going to be like, it's just kind of a weird group because Braun is still trying to get his footing and solidify himself as a top guy, and Bronson is working as well. I just think it's going to be tough to continue to elevate this group, and putting him in the ring with Roman and Jay at SummerSlam. Like, I'm sorry, Roman's team's not going to get beat at SummerSlam. I just don't see that happening. And then now, not only is it a group that doesn't have a name and is kind of just there, now they're ineffective. And so it's gonna be a struggle.
Bishop, you just said something that was really strong, and I can't disagree with you. Like, it looks like you're getting into a tag match with Roman and Jay against Bronson and Braun. First and foremost, bringing back Roman. Jay is one of the most popular wrestlers there, and then Roman coming back to be in a tag match doesn't really excite me. And then if they're going in the ring with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, like I almost feel like Braun and Bronson have to win because, like, if you're ever going to be any kind of weight or belief or any kind of strength of knowledge of this team, they would have to win. Because if they go in SummerSlam and they just lose, it's like, how are you going to see them start Monday Night Raw each week? Like you're going to have absolutely no belief in this team at all. But at the same time, you're bringing back Roman. You're teaming Roman and Jay to lose. Like you said,
No way.
no, there's no shot. No shot that's happening.
And you're not going to beat Braun either. So like Bronson's going to eat the pin here, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I just think it makes that group dead on the water. And maybe you can take Jay and Braun off together, or Roman and Braun off together, and maybe try to get a Mania match, out of them. But it's going to be a hard sell for that group taking an L at SummerSlam because you're not going to beat two of your top stars. I just don't think with a group that's kind of treading water.
Yeah.
If they were super over and it was really working and they had the name and everything was slapping, maybe. But I don't see it happening.